We can also use the indifference curve to analyze what would happen with choices. Sometimes choices are by consumers. We're going to look at two examples of tricky marketing tactics one might use. One is buy one, get one free, otherwise known as BOGO. Second is cash gifts, where we get some in-kind or gift certificates. So we'll look at these two alternatives. We're also going to look at a different application talking about consumers now as workers, and they have a choice. I can work or I can have leisure. So how do they make those choices? So let's start with the gift certificate example. So this is our initial consumer equilibrium. And let's say that the producer of good X wants a little incentive to have you buy good X. And they're saying, I'm going to give you a gift certificate that you can only redeem by buying good X. So what happens is the amount you could buy with your income, because you didn't get a raise, is the same for good Y. So that is flat. However, because you could spend that certificate at buying good X, it shifts over to the right. So that leads to this kind of odd kinked budget line. You can imagine what happens next. Because of that, you're going to have a couple of choices. You could buy the same amount that you had of Y before and buy all this extra X. The producer would love you to buy all of that in X. However, you actually have a better choice. The better choice is to move up the indifference curve because sure, you can afford B, but you're at a lower indifference curve. By shifting some toward Y as well, you're now able to get on a higher indifference curve. So in this example, the effect of the gift certificate is twofold. You would buy more from the provider of the gift certificate, but you'd also buy a little bit more of good Y because that allows you more money and therefore you could use some for Y as well. All right, so that's the effect of a gift certificate. The second choice is buy one, get one free. And let's use a pizza example. And let's say the initial equilibrium has you buy half a pizza. So you have half a pizza, but the pizzeria doesn't want that. They want you to buy more. So what they say is buy one, get one free. Now notice I didn't say buy half, get another half free. No, buy one and get one free. So the line that is straight occurs where pizzas equal one. It doesn't happen at half. So if you were to buy one, you get one free. So that's why you would always be over here and not here because more is better, right? Presumably. Maybe not for your diet. So now we have this kinked line again, and you can guess what's going to happen is we have a new equilibrium because now we can shift out here and be happier, right? So indifference curve H has a higher level of satisfaction, and we have just gone from buying half of a pizza to buying two pizzas, right? 1 + 1. So we're a lot happier. And this is the example of buy one, get one free. That's why you see it quite often as an offer to induce behavior, shifting people's purchase preferences, either toward you where they weren't buying before, or rounding up in the case of the half pizza, rounding up where you end up with two pizzas. You started with half and you ended up with two. Okay? Labor and leisure, we can use the model for this as well. So this is income per day. So it's 8 hours a day, $30 an hour gets here. Or you can spend all of your time staying in bed, 24 hours of leisure. Now we have indifference curves. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, that works, right? So this represents a trade-off where you say, I think I'll work for 8 hours and have 16 hours of leisure to comprise my 24 hours. And because of that, we'd have a worker equilibrium at point E. Now, let's say your boss wants you to work a little harder or a little bit more, maybe not harder. Let's just say more. They could do something like this. They could say, I'm going to offer you overtime. So if you work overtime beyond 8 hours, I'm going to pay you $15 an hour. So now from 0 work to 8 hours, you're at this slope of the line, but after you work 8 hours, it's going to accelerate up so you can make more money due to the overtime premium. So again, we have a kinked budget line, and guess what? We're going to have a higher level of indifference curve. So the worker may shift to move to point F, which moves away from leisure and more toward work because they want to make more money. That's the example of overtime being an effective way to get people to work.